Right. I bought a new microphone and I went to plug it in and it was the wrong cable. So sadly, I have to use laptop mic for this. I apologize for that ahead of time, but that's unfortunately what's gonna happen. All right. This car was one that failed on the dyno before. You may or not remember that. It spun a bearing. I was doing the pump gas tune on it, spun a bearing. So just got her warmed up. I'm starting some tuning stuff on it. You see, I revved it. I was checking for engine noise and all of that. And the braking is done on the new motor. Oil's been changed, all that stuff. So now we're going to do some power tuning. Now this is just pump only. This isn't ethanol, so it's not going to be as fun as it could be. Okay, where's my timing say? 56. Table 2 says 49, so we're on table 1 because we're on pump. That's fuel table. So we got 55. Okay. So that's some air temp correction. That pull off a degree or two about that. Nothing wrong with 55 degrees time. These things have 55 from the factory. And this one's got bigger cams in it and it's headward, so it's going to burn slower. And also, honestly, 50 something's fine. It's just when you're used to tuning a lot of cars, even though Subarus, many of them have this much timing in it, it still feels weird. Still feels wrong. I realize it's the late time to start a stream. It's at the end of the day here, so I get that. I apologize again there, but let's get some boost on this thing, huh? Check the check the map limit, raise the RPM limit. Bouncing like crazy. The old tires and this fucking thing. Uh, it's got that. It's, it's, good. Its target is low. It's not even. It's not even a full bar boost right there. That looks funny. All right, so if we're at zero throttle, we're doing about 25%. Here we just see atmospheric pressure. Less than atmospheric. It's going to taper down. Pushing that. Sky. Twice. Go down there. Back. That. Right. Then at half throttle, we want to see, let's see, like 10 pounds or so. That's that in here. Not going to see it at 3,000 though, because these things just can't do that as much as we'd like them to do it. I'm going to do this right here. Taper that in on slower. There. Carry this guy. Right? Just have a whole boost like that for a while. 21 PSI on pump, which should be nice. All right. That. And the graph. I'm missing weird peaks. Oh, no weird peaks are in. Okay. Okay, for now. Save that. Just turn it 2. That. Put the same one in. And we'll add that ethanol later on when that time comes. All right. PID. I got my thing zeroed out of what I did. Yeah, 0. That. See. Max. 90. Min. 5. Stage 1. 90. So. Sky probably closer to 20. This closer to 15. That. Okay. I think we are ready to give it a shot. I am bouncing its own edge. I got nobody here. That's weird. Usually my live streams populate fast than this, but I haven't done it in such a long time. Probably most certainly fell off the algorithm. Okay, so oh, any desk to get the dyno computer up for us? Dyno computer up. Just fucking did that. I hate this fucking dyno. I like parts of it. I hate most of it. Dyno and up. Mouse. It's annoying. There you go. Okay, set the speed in 4th gear. Got the program here, so don't need to see your fuel and boost, see power outputs. I think it should probably be more than 325 here, but see what happens. Show that we go. That one. There we go. All right. See how we did. Okay, RPM is doing that. So we got too much idle air in dashpot, or Or blew a hose off. Probably blew a hose off. So never once did that before. Let's double check. Idle page. Huh. Do one pull, and all of a sudden the idle's high. That's got to climb up. All right, cool. It's good. Okay, let's look at the knock history here. She was noisy. She was noisy. There's no timing in it though. Pull all the timing out. 14 pounds. So that could just be engine noise, but pull all the timing out of it too. What about timing on here? That's weird. What time's supposed to be here? All right, put this on here. Let's go to properties. Put on the TPS table. Numbers. Oops. Do that. That parameter. Oh, yeah. So at 14, that's not 14. That's a little 14. That's 20. Yeah, what about, wait, 14, 15, 16, 17. So like 18, I've got 10 degrees, which is nothing usually, but it's loud. And then up top, I've got 17 degrees, which is also nothing. Okay, let's look at our air fuel ratio. Air fuel ratio is 7.4 lambda, 7.8 lambda, 7.6 lambda. That's rich. That's rich. Okay, so let's go like this nog again. Why am I getting so high by the threshold so early? Oh, my gain's at 4. Oh, gain's at 4. That'll fucking do it. Okay. It's like everything is loud in that case, but it is louder on pink and blue. 2 and 4 are louder than the other cylinders. With the gain cranked up, I really got to see that. 2 and 4 have been reduced in here as well on my trim. By a lot. I mean, I got 4 at 17%, 2's only 2% less than the other cylinders. 4 makes sense because it's right next to the sensor. 1's the furthest away. Got 3 on here. Has extra fuel. On that pole, 3 is yellow. 3 is right in that line. Okay, I got 4 in here. Has extra fuel, probably. Yep. Extra fuel. So that's okay. And ignition. We got 2 on here. There's nothing. Okay, so we're gonna pull a couple out of 2. Should pull 2 out of 2 right away. See if that brings it down closer to what cylinder 4 is doing. 4 has got it's got a lot pulled out of it. Hmm. That must be for the old engine. It's not this engine, right? So let's clear that out. Start this over. The old engine was a 2.3 and it was higher compression and all that. This engine is a 2.5. And I'm just gonna go 1.4 like it was. It was already there. It's already 1 less. Do that. Like so. Okay. Here now, save that. So it's rich and conservative time. Shouldn't be any problems unless there's some weird stuff going on with the engine. Maybe sorry, my brain's doing multiple things here, trying to get the boost, make sure the boost is good. See, there's a little wiggle right here. Came in, popped down, and then had to build up quite a bit. So this thing wants a lot more duty cycle than it did before. So really here, we're going to want it to be at 35 for this boost target. Now, some of that could be because that hose could have popped off. That hose might have popped off right here, in fact. And then that's why, so we're going to leave it alone. That's actually wrong. That's probably why that dip happened. Or I have the stage coming in too close to the boost target. There's no derivative on here. No, and there should be some derivative action right there to help slow down that spike there. So we'll try it again without changing the wastegate. Now that that hose is plugged back in. Looks like I lost the boost pipe again. Or there was a cut. I had a cut or lost a pipe. Let's see what this thing says. Nope, lost a pipe. Come on, guys. This thing's got to stay bolted together. And that pressure just instantly. And I got no fuel or ignition cuts. 7.5 lambda. Looks beautiful. Boost looks really nice. It's a smidge low, lower than the target, that is. Timing, 10 degrees. At... I lost the boost pipe. I think I lost the boost pipe. It's got to be on the intercooler or something. Fuel pressure's dropping. Hey, fuel pressure's not keeping up either. Does it have two pumps in it or one? Do you know?
What? It's not keeping up.
Dropping.
Like 5 less.
10 pounds. It's at 400 kPa to start. And then it gets to about. Oh, I can change it to PSI. Yeah. I'm just trying to train myself better in that unit. And it's at 325 at the end of the pole. At hit 65, it goes and starts falling off real hard.
How much power do you make it?
453 on pump. Wow. I didn't even look at it.
What's the lamping?
0.75. So rich. And 17 degrees of timing.
17? Our car's only like 9, 7.
Well, 17 at the top. It's 10 at peak boost at the start. No, this one. This one's 10 when boost comes up to right about 20 pounds, 10 degrees, and then it goes up to 17 by 7,200.
Well, I don't know if you out anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if it doesn't work on pump, it definitely ain't gonna work on shouldn't be more than 325. What's up, guys? Shouldn't be more than 325. I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, the pressure should be more than 325. Let's see. Let's look at the fuel pump setting. Pump control. Yeah, it should definitely be in high by then.
I'll let Tony the turbo and fly enough to can't touch it. Burn it.
I mean, that's expected, right? Yeah. Really? Off the turbo? That's weird. I mean, they're usually hot, but not that hot. I wonder why. Well, 150 will scald you with water. Let's see this horsepower curve here. It's off the charts. This thing made a bunch of power again. I'm kind of concerned. This is a Cobb 4-bar, right? Jesus Christ. I mean, you can see that the timing's low. Only 350 pounds of torque to the wheels, and the torque's really flat. So you can see that the ignition timing's low. And let's see the cams. Make sure the cams are tracking correctly. Cams are spot on. Looks like I got a little. It starts to retard a little soon. This is my cams, right? This one's got my cams in it, right? Yeah, I think so too. It's fucking ripping. Wow, it is making some jam. Pump gas. Jeez Louise. That's only 19 pounds of boost. Dude, it's only 19 pounds of boost. God. 450 on pump. This is a G30-770? Wow. Okay. This thing is rocketing. Okay, this says 650. What did I pull to here? A log. I let off at 7. So it needs to be adjusted a smidge for tire growth. So that should be over here. Wow. Still. Oh, okay. Let's raise this a little bit. Is the
Not on the top, like on the other side of the view.
uh-huh. So we don't know anything about the fuel pump in here? So you get 390. It's falling. I mean, it still declines. It doesn't hit a floor.
I see. The one on the other side's hot as shit. So. What's fuel pressure? What is it at? Base pressure.
400.
What is that in PSI?
43,
Okay.
right? Or is that 300? Oh no, that's not 60. Yeah, it's a 60.
It's a 60? Oh.
So we're getting to 80 psi of total fuel pressure,
Interesting.
which most pumps fall off at 75 really hard. So lowering the pressure might actually save us some.
Yeah.
Our duty cycle is 66 up top. It's 55 when it starts falling. Is this one easy to lower?
Yeah. I can lower it. I just gotta go get it.
Okay. Yeah, so we're set at 400, which is just under 60, like 58 pounds. And then that plus 20 pounds gets us close to 80, over 75, and most pumps fall off. So I'm gonna lower it and see if that's enough to help keep it from dropping off so hard. Because if it isn't, well, we need more pump. And we haven't even started ethanol yet, so that will definitely be a problem. 400 equals 58. Yeah, like you said. You're 5 to 6 short at peak boost. No, I'm more than 5 to 6, right? Because I was 75 kPa short. That's like 10 pounds, right? So he goes on the far left. It's at 400. Falls off a smidge during the pull as the boost builds a little bit, which is weird. Usually they don't fall much at all. They stay pretty flat and normal. And then it's tanking near the top end. You've seen a lot of those Walbro fuel pump curves. They go linear and then they fall off greater than linear over like 75 to 90 psi based on which pump it is. So I'm just going to lower it a smidge and see if that's what it is. Because what'll happen is if it is in fact the fact that we've hit that spot where the pump falls off, then lowering will actually gain more flow and lower pressure than we lose normally by having lower pressure. Because that curve isn't linear anymore, it falls off very linear. If we were up in a linear section and I lowered pressure, I probably wouldn't gain any flow, right? Because it's comparing your starting pressure at 400. I thought you wanted, of course. Oh, that 400 I'm saying is differential pressure. So this one here, this trace that you see on the graph, this is differential pressure. Say differential fuel pressure. So that's manifold pressure from injector pressure, right? To give us that differential pressure. Um, so it should be a flat line all the way across, right? It should be right here, which is 400 right there, 399. Should be a flat line all the way across. And it's not. It's tapering a little bit. A little bit makes sense. I mean, I can go for, 5 kPAs, not that much, not that big of a deal, but it should stay pretty much 400. What regulator's in this? Regulator is a makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah, it helps. Yeah, I can't believe you couldn't read that. I mean, it says it right there inside that white squiggle. There's a white font inside a white squiggle. How come you can't read that? And it's also teeny, teeny, tiny on the screen. Yeah, obviously you can't read that. Yeah. Um, all right, I'm gonna hit the key. Where'd my fuel pressure go?
What's that?
Say, where'd my fuel pressure go? Oh, wife's calling me.
Yeah, you gotta yell at me because I can't hear it.
Hello, honey. On my watch. I can't hear you. Hello? Hi. At the shop? What? Down?
Huh?
Can you go down some more or not?
I can, yeah.
Okay, please. Okay. Yeah, one of us has got terrible connection. No.
Okay, well, I could hear myself.
Yeah, there we go. A little bit. You're just breaking up a lot. Close. That's close enough. 320. Sorry. You getting out of work, Teresa? Yeah, this isn't working. Sorry. It's her phone, not mine. Okay. All right. See what happens. All right. Still fell off, but not as bad. Chicken foot a little bit too, honestly. And it's richer. 70% duty cycle. Fell to 303 from 330. So you see the pump kick on here to high speed right there. Actually, it was dropping before it kicked on. What's duty cycle there? 33. Wow. Yeah, I think this pump is weak. Something wrong with this pump. Yeah, so 30 and 4,000. This thing should be a big enough pump that in medium speed, it should be able to handle 33% duty cycle out of this ejector. That's uh that's concerning that it's that weak. Oh, that is concerning. That is too. We're never gonna get the power out of it. Bad. So, is it a clogged filter? That's a question, right? Maybe it's got a clogged filter. I mean, it did better. Let's see if this works now. Hello? I can, yeah. Where were you before? No, yeah. No, you were breaking up bad. But I don't know if it was you or my watch or what, because I was on my watch. Yeah, yeah, it was shit. It was shit. So, okay. Oh, fun. I look forward to that. Nice. This sounds like it's gonna be a good time on the way home here in a few minutes. Yeah, yeah, I will. All right, baby girl. Well, I'm be done here in just a few minutes, so I'll start battling the traffic. Love you too. Bye. All right, guys. Well, shit. Fuel pump's not keeping up. Um, so I turned the boost down. Well, first turn the fuel pressure down to see if that fixed it, and it helped. It did help. So that tells me that we are in that fall off area, but even then, the pump is still not doing nearly enough. So I don't know if this has one pump, two pump, three pump, chump. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. But not right now because it's after closing for these guys. Um, let's see. It's great. Start pressure, summer sets. Finishing up my car for next week. Good, good. Let's get this thing going, man. Another car that's got my cams in it, but that's gonna be sweet because it's my cams, my pistons, my rods, Craig motor, that turbo, and all of that should be a ripping good time. So I'm really excited to do that one. So uh, yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time. This one is surprising. This car, I'm telling you guys, like I brag about my cams a lot, but this is why. Like a 770 with my cam profile. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Pump gas, 10, 10 degrees of timing, up to 17 at red line, making 450 wheel. I mean, I got 70. Well, the duty cycle on the injectors is partially due to the fact um, that the fuel pressure is dropping, but 70 something percent duty cycle on some 1300s.
You could try these on you. I was gonna go start it up for you because it's freezing out
It
there.
is freezing out there. My wife's calling me.
Started mine, and I was like, you probably want yours warmed up too.
Yeah. But yeah, this thing's ripping. But I did a video on my cams with a 234 and a bug eye with this turbo with a smaller turbo. And it was the same thing. It was like 500 wheel on less than 20 pounds of boost. And this one's doing about the same thing, 450 on less than 20 pounds. The other one's a 2.3. This one's a 2.5 liter. The other one had big port 207 heads with my cams, no porting. This one is USDM casting, so these castings are more restrictive. But I mean, you see the power climbing the red line on this thing still, and I could go over that. This thing is set up to go more than 7 grand, but with the fuel pressure dropping and all that stuff, I don't wanna. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's cold outside right now, but the dyno's not adding jack for weather correction. Typically in the summer, this thing's adding 15% because we're at elevation and it's hot. And this thing right now is not adding anything. So the cold day obviously helps the car make power, but god dang, that's it's pretty damn good for pump. I cannot complain about that. Like I said, these cams are great. I've been trying to spread the word, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't make a fucking dime on these cams. With the money I spend getting them made by Kelford, then having the machine shop do the machine work on them for drill all the holes and everything, and then tapping the backside and um, and putting the plugs in them, and then welding up part of the spot that I got to weld up, and then doing the lobe stuff that I do, the treatment I do to the lobes and everything. Like I've got 4+ processes on top of making the cam by the time I get them. Like I don't make any money on these things at all. Like literally, I don't make any money. In fact, I lose. Um, let's see, the way I calculated it with all the money I put in the R&D and then the cost, I lose $150 a cam until I sell about 100 sets. 100 sets, I I get to where now I'm breaking even on cams, and then I think I might gain like $50 after 100 sets, and that's like it. And that's if I don't pay myself any time for the couple hours that I spend on the damn things afterwards. So yeah, I don't make money on them. And so I'm out here talking about them, trying to sell them, not for financial gain, but because they're awesome. And because I want, people to go, wow, the shit this guy makes is worth a damn. Maybe I'll buy his other stuff too. The things that I can make some money on. Um, so anyways, if you have a set of my cams, just know that I didn't make a dime on them. In fact, like I said, I've lost money, a couple $100 per set until 20 sets, and I've only sold like maybe 12 sets so far. So yeah, these uh these are one of those investments like advertising dollars that you hope will get you more sales and other stuff. But I'm hoping that it shows that I can design parts. And so the pistons and rods that I got, like the ones that are in Nolan's car there, when I have an excellent performing engine like his should, then it'll show more that the stuff that I get's worth buying. And I make about $100 on a set of pistons, which almost isn't even worth the R&D because how much time I spend doing all that stuff. But um, I make more on the rods. That's really my the rods are my biggest margin on the internals, and it's not even enough to like live off of. But if I could get a volume out there just to you know help the income and enough that I can keep making full parts like these cams. Um, because if you think about it, like I sell a set of rods, I make money on that. If I sell a set of cams, I lose it. It's a wash. So it's like I have to sell the rods so I can afford to sell the cams, and keep these cool parts on the market. So I don't know why I'm fucking telling you guys that. But anyways, you can see here these little dips in the curve here and here. One of those is related to the boost level, and I think the rest of it's probably just the fact that the timing is so conservative through here. It's going to want a little more. This is because the boost is coming down some, but I think this one up here is because the timing is so conservative. I'm sure if I added a little bit up here on top, this thing would carry more and clean up a little bit too. Plus, it's rich. It's 7.4 lambda. Um, so, oh, getting called. Hello,
Hey,
what's up?
can you hear me?
Yep.
I had to leave. I was super late. I didn't realize what time it was, so I just pulled some back.
Oh, okay. Well, have a good day, evening, and stuff. I'll see you Wednesday. All right, bye. Anyways, let's see. This thing rips for how little was in it. I'm talking this. I know. It's crazy. It's getting after it already. So I'm excited to get this one done. And on ethanol. Now that being said, on ethanol, the peak horsepower is going to go up, a lot. Right, we get the fuel flow in it. But the torque is going to go up like a lot. Because I won't be nearly as soft with the timing up in the mid range there as I am on pump. Um, Probably see that traditional EJ torque spike and dip a little bit. I don't ever do it big because that's where you rip heads off engines, but we'll probably get the torque around 450 wheel, maybe 400 wheel in there, and then it'll drop down to like 400 or so at redline. That's probably what's going to happen on ethanol, and then this will pop up, quite a bit. So like at 350. So if I'm adding 50 foot-pounds at 6750, that's 64 horsepower that I would add just with 50 foot-pounds at redline there. So maybe I push harder, maybe closer to 500 pounds of torque at peak and 450 at red lines from there, or maybe I just go 450 straight across the board. We'll see how the turbo behaves. But 450 at 6750, which isn't even red line. Like I said, this thing will do way more than that. Will be 578 wheel. Okay, so probably not that. Probably not that much. That would be quite a bit. Um, and 570 is about where 1300s on ethanol usually max out if I have two pumps on them at 60 psi base. So they ain't gonna do it now, that's for sure. So, anyways, I guess that's it. I can't do anything else. Pump's falling off. Car runs great though. Making a butt whack of power on pump. Spool's pretty darn quick. You see there, that's 4250 right while on this. And actually, I went to 7 grand on the pulse. So let's look at the log really quick before I depart. So come on, 4240. 4240, we got 20 pounds on it right there. Or 19 pounds, I guess. 19 pounds. 231. Um, well, we're at we're at 13.2 where we're at here. So you actually got to add the difference of that for what's actually boost on here, right? Because our atmospheric is um, 89 to 93. So if we do 231 minus, we'll do 89, gives us 142. So 20.8 pounds. Yeah, it's 20 pounds. We're 20 pounds boost at our elevation. So 20 pounds by 43 at elevation. Well, we're 2,200, so it's not like way up there, but that's enough. From 22 to sea level makes a big difference. So if it's at sea level, this thing's 20 pounds of boost in itself, in the high threes to low to 4,000 somewhere in there. That's that's spooling quick. Some of that's the 2.5 liters, and the rest of that's these cams. These cams spool turbos. They spool really well and make power. And that's because, well, why can they do both? Why do they spool turbos faster and make more power? Well, that's because of the ramp rate. These cams have a higher ramp rate than any of the cams on the market. Typically, that's slightly less reliable, more dangerous per se. Not the word dangerous, but you know what I'm saying, like it's more extreme. And with the oiling issues that Subarus tend to have in the cams area, that's super risky to do. But because I modify the cams to have oil fed directly to the lobe, now I can get away with it. So oil is fed directly to the lobe of the cam. And so because of that, I have fresh oil on that bucket. I'm not waiting for something to splash on it. Because from the factory, it's just splash. You're waiting for a splash from somewhere to get on that lobe. It's a terrible idea. I don't know why the EJ is like that. Um, very few cam manufacturers rely on splash lubrication on a bucket style cam like this, follower on a cam. Almost none. They either have force lobe oiling, or they have sprayers, or they have something. This does not. The EJ does not. It just relies on splashing, which is stupid. So with that, I put force lobe oiling on these cams. And so because of that, now I can get away with a faster ramp rate. And I have less friction and I have a faster ramp rate. And it makes the cams act like a bigger cam, but also a smaller cam. Smaller cam in that I'm able to open the valve really quick and get a lot of air in there as the piston's moving down. Uh, and I don't have to have it open for as long, so I don't have to have a ton of overlap for me to get that airflow. Because overlap's what makes the cams behave poorly at low speeds, right? Too much overlap, they don't perform very well. So I have that, but also I have the valves open at different times. There's two different lobes on the intake cam, so the lobes are different on the intake cam. One's bigger than the other, and they don't have the same center line either. So I could just make one lobe bigger, one lobe smaller, and then have it open, say 4 degrees and 4 degrees, or 2 degrees and 2 degrees, open 2 degrees earlier, shut 2 degrees earlier. But I didn't. What I did, I took one lobe and I kicked it back so it opens later than the other one, but shuts at the same time. So one lobe is open for a longer period of time on its own. So that means one valve cracks open before the other one even starts moving. And so it cracks open, and so you have a smaller area where you're trying to draw air in initially. And so I get a real quick velocity in the cylinder, and I get some swirl out of that because now it's entering the chamber from the side. I get a high pressure on one side, and I get a little bit of swirl in the chamber, and that swirl increases mixing. And then when that second valve comes open, I have that swirl coming. Then the air fronts collide. I get great mixing in the cylinder. And so these things make amazing torque. They idle smooth as glass. I mean, this thing is, it's just purring here at idle. They just idle great. That's um that's 840 to 900 on the scale is what we're seeing right there. And that's based on instantaneous crankshaft speed. Like you don't see that on the tack. Tack is rock steady because there's filtering on that. This is very low filtering on here, but But yeah, this thing is just steady. The idle's great, start great, they drive great, they spool great. Like it's a good way to do it, but you can't do it without the work. You can't do without the work on the cams. So, but the thing that it does do is because that ramp rate, we lose valve train stability pretty easily if you don't have a really strong reflecting on some. Oh yeah, it was. If you don't have a really strong spring. So to rev this thing over 7,200 or so, you got to have like the GSC high pressure conicals or the Ferrea, um, or if the Ferrea dual spring race one that they have that's got like crazy high pressure. They were 95 at the seat on a small valve like this, which is a lot, and two something open, if I recall correctly. Two something, 216, 217 open. I gotta double check. But it's a lot more spring force to keep this valve stable on the backside over 7,200. Um, if you run just like the regular GSE beehive, you'll float. You'll have indications of valve float over 7 grand on my cam. So it requires a $700 set of springs to run my cams to have them be well controlled at higher RPM. So I never thought of such a thing on a four valve. Yeah, right. I first started that in a different way. If you look way back on Naziok in 2009, maybe, I put different size valves in the engine. I put +1 valves on opposite corners. Um, that was the first thing I tried doing was opposite valves on opposite corners. Uh, and then Kelford has always had different size lobes on their cams, but they have the same center line. And so that's one reason why that Kelford B profile is so damn good. The B profile is really, really, really good. The B with a C exhaust profile is fucking really good. And you can get away with a GSC beehive on that. That's not as good as my cam, but that's where the origin of my cams came from, was from that combination. Um, the BC combo, not Brian Crower, but the Kelford B intake C exhaust or even D exhaust is a freaking phenomenal combo. Wide power bands with that. And so then I took the Kelford cam and I added the +1 valves on cross sections on them as well. That was another thing that I did to give that a shot and put the bigger valve on the smaller lobe so that the small valve opened first on the bigger lobe to, and then kind of like balanced out the flow on the top end, +1. But that's such a pain in the ass. I just said screw it. And then I went with my new profile where I retarded one of the lobes so that they close at the same time and open at an even greater stagger on the opening. And then with a fast ramp rate, you're not losing anything like compared to other camps. The fast ramp rate and everything, like you think, oh, I opened one valve later, therefore I'm hurting my airflow on the engine. But because I ramp rate so fast, anyways, on one of those valves, you're already got more time at 200 thou of lift than any of the other big cams, right? So way more lift. And then yeah, and then the second one comes in, fast ramp rate as well. So then you get this big burst, lots of flow early, lots of flow sustained, and then shut it quickly, on the back end. And that's why you need the stronger springs. I think GSC just uses the beehives, but you got to ask them. I don't know. So, anyways, it works really good. I mean, you're seeing it now. Look at the thing, full boost on this thing, under 42, still carrying to 7, and I haven't even cranked it up yet. Like that's wider than what you'll see on most. Because now, like if I run it to 8 or 85 or something, it'll just start to nose over there, and then you got this huge wide power band. So yeah, but it's a mini Venturi, even if brief. Yeah, it's much like that. Yeah. So alrighty, thanks guys. I appreciate it. Sorry, it's a short stream. Um, But the cool thing is the short ones like this, they're to the point, have a little bit of information, have a dyno pull in it, show some troubleshooting. They're easier to share. They're easier to watch in the future instead of waiting for something to happen for a long time. So um, appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you, Azure Cruz. I can't read that. Is it Cruise or Crux? Blue something. I don't know. Anyways, I appreciate it. Um, it's good talking to you. And yeah, sorry, Kenneth. How'd that revision work on your car? Is it any better? I don't know if you sent me logs. I haven't looked. Haven't looked. 11 p.m. from you, so hopefully it's good news. So, all right, guys. Thanks again. I will see you around. See you in the next one.